What's going on, everybody? Happy new comic book day. It's Wednesday, December 22nd, and you know how we do it. Gonna go through this week's comics as spoiler-free as possible. I got a chance to check out a new series on Webtoon, which is the online digital platform, and I read the first 3 episodes of Eternally Falls. This is by Clary Del Pilar, and it's basically like a comic book mixed with a manga in color. It's about these archangels who have the ability to show themselves as visions on Earth but can't interact. The only way they can interact with people is if they choose to be born as a person. The catch is they don't know that they're actually angels until they start manifesting their powers around the time they become teenagers. So I feel like it's a manga in the sense that it's not heavy on the dialogue. It doesn't have big boxes of exposition. It has a lot of one sentences per page. And then they even do something that Berserk does, which is my favorite manga, where it's like you'll have a highly detailed person and then they'll say something kind of cute and they'll look like a cute little drawing, kind of like what Puck does. But yeah, you have these teenagers in school, they're getting powers, and that's where it feels a little bit like a superhero comic book where you have a healer, somebody with speed, somebody with power, somebody with invulnerability, and there is some kind of teen drama stuff brewing between one of the archangels and their love interest and that demon guy that you see in the back of the cover. So I kind of dug it, man. It was kind of up my alley. Was geared a little bit towards a younger audience, I would say, but it was still good nonetheless. Now, moving on to Marvel Comics, let's start by taking a look at Wastelanders Hawkeye issue 1. So last week, or the week before, it was Wastelanders Old Man Logan, so now we're getting the Old Man Hawkeye stuff, kind of continuing in that world that Mark Miller created with the Old Man Logan stuff, except for this is a Daredevil and Hawkeye issue. Love Old Man Daredevil basically has turned into Stick and trying to train and help Hawkeye. Hawkeye is super reckless here. This is by Sachs, Robertson, and Lima, and I enjoyed revisiting this world. Great one-shot, just like the Old Man Logan one. Next up, we have another Darkhold one-shot. This is the Spider-Man one. This is by Park Nadell Neves and Charlemagne Pedis. Hope I pronounced it right. So, great little horror-inspired one-shot, just like all of them have really been. This is like the world is zombies, and Spider-Man is literally webbing everything together, holding everything together. Even Mary Jane, or is it Gwen Stacy? It was one of his love interests, working with Mr. Fantastic. He's basically holding himself together. And just like the cover suggests, it feels like, not Marvel Zombies, but it feels like zombie stuff with Spider-Man, some deeper meaning behind what's actually happening here in this upside down type of world. Next up from Jason Aaron, we have Avengers Forever issue 1. He's joined by Aaron Neuter and Jason Keith. I thought it was just okay. It was kind of a couple of stories taking place in different universes, focusing on this Tony Stark Ant-Man hybrid, which was kind of interesting. I like how he had the little ant, Iron Ant with him. That was pretty fun. But otherwise, the art was just okay, and it was just whatever. Then we have Kang the Conqueror issue 5 by Kelly, Lansing, Magno, and Grudinger. I don't know if this is the last issue or not. I never know whether it's the penultimate issue or the last issue or whatever. I really liked it, man. I like this whole series, and this one kind of everything coming around full circle as you would expect with time travel. I kind of like how deep it goes and how emotional it goes with Kang's love interest, and then him worrying about himself and going back to that younger version of him, warning him not to fall in love, which did that set off this chain of events or not? So kind of interesting concepts. I like this kind of Dolly-inspired cover as well. Cool little miniseries. Then we have the Amazing Spider-Man issue 82. This one's by Ahmed, Fornes, and Brown. So this one just focuses on Peter Parker. He's coming out of the coma, kind of, and it's not even easy. Peter Parker can't even be in a coma without people trying to kidnap him and feed this beast in the bottom of the hospital. And it was interesting. It was way different than the other issues have been so far. I don't think we had Ben Reilly whatsoever, but you can kind of tell from the cover here, like that's what you're getting. What kind of antics are ensuing in the hospital while Peter Parker's in a coma? Then we have Moon Knight issue 6. This was by McKay, Capuccio, and Rosenberg. Another great series so far. This one was cool. Moon Knight seemingly being defeated by Zodiac, and then boom, his brother, the other fist of Khonshu, comes in to save the day. And just the interaction between them, they're kind of putting the beef behind them because they are the right hand and the left hand of Khonshu. They're both sons of Khonshu, meaning that they're brothers, and that was kind of the heavy theme of this issue. Great artwork here, brutal battles, and nice interaction between these characters. All right, Venom number 3 is here. Rom V handling the writing on this one as well. This one's also Hitch, Curie, and Sinclair. I felt like this was kind of boring, y'all. I don't know, man. The symbiote misses Eddie Brock. Dylan misses Eddie Brock. Everybody misses Eddie. The symbiote and Dylan aren't getting along. People are hunting symbiotes and hunting Dylan specifically. I like the Sleeper stuff. I like Sleeper as a cat and the symbiote as a dog, but the symbiote isn't content with just being a dog. He wants to be Venom. And what's interesting to me is that Eddie warned Dylan not to bond with Venom, and I wonder why. I mean, they were so tight this whole time, but he gave him that warning, and now it's causing a rift between the symbiote and Dylan. I think I made it sound more interesting than it was when I was actually reading it, but I'm going to stick with it. I mean, it's Venom. All right, then we have Black Panther issue 2 by John Riley, Juan Cabal, and Federico Blee. So I'm digging this series so far. T'Challa has created these sleepers that they fake their death in Wakanda. He's got them in the rest of the world. I don't know, just hanging tight. They've made their own families. They made their own lives, but they're always on call to Wakanda, right? Now, there's somebody out there assassinating these sleepers. Who knows about this team? Is it somebody good? Is it the Avengers? Is it somebody bad? It shows that T'Challa doesn't trust many people, and it's interesting to see how the different agents are responding to trying to be pulled out. Some are ready to come back to Wakanda, whatever you say, thanks for the opportunity, or F you, I have a family now, I'm not going back. So, interesting stuff. I was digging it. As I was editing this video, I realized I forgot to talk about 2 books, so I don't know if you guys could tell or not, and I probably would have let that slide, but y'all, Wolverine issue number 19 was so good. Benjamin Percy, Fernandez, and Wilson. It was like a one-shot. Wolverine battling this kraken of a whale. I guess it's a mutant whale. There have been dead bodies washing up on the shore of Krakoa. There's something out there. So Wolverine, alone with his thoughts, sails in a ship by himself. And it's just a deep Wolverine issue. A guy who is not content with everything being peaceful, and he needs war. He needs to fight. It kind of reminds me of that Joe Rogan quote on good times make weak men, hard times make strong men, kind of a thing. That was kind of the trope here. And it kind of plays off of the last 2 issues that were that whole surfing and that surfing story. Wolverine alone with his thoughts, fighting a huge whale. It was amazing. And then for what I think is the final issue of Trial of Magneto with issue 5 by Williams, Wernick, and Delgado. So it all comes together. We understand why she died, who killed her, who took the fall. I'm still unclear on what the point was, though. I'm a little bit lost as to why she died. It has something to do with the Resurrection Protocol. It was pretty cool. It was deep. Father-daughter stuff going on in there. You know, that hits me hard. But, yeah, it was all right. All right, and lastly, from Marvel, we have Darth Vader, issue 19 by Pack, Villanova, and Sinclair. So I'm a little bit lost. I don't know if I missed the last issue of Darth Vader. The tie-in to the big event, War of the Bounty Hunters, had me a little bit lost. And I'm a little bit lost with who the supporting cast is here. It's easier when it's tying into stuff from the movies. Now, when Vader's being Vader, he's doing badass stuff, and I love it. But there's a lot of pages on here that I'm just like totally lost. And speaking about being lost, swinging over to Image Comics, Time Before Time issue 8 was solicited for last week, but it actually did come out this week. And I dug it, man. Time Before Time is a trippy type of time traveling story where you have the Syndicate, you have the Union. It's basically like witness protection programs, but putting you in different places in time. So it can be confusing when it jumps around a lot. And I'm a little bit lost because the characters don't resonate. You know, the main 2 characters, one of them was taken off the board, and our main character is always like a supporting character. The new main character, she's trying to find her family in this time frame where supposedly they were left and they're not there. So there's this whole kind of frantic kind of search going on for her family, working with her neighbor that is old now and hasn't seen her since she was a kid. This one's by Shalvex, McConville, Palmer, O'Halloran, and Otsmay Alehu. I do like the premise of this. It just can be a little confusing at times. Then we got Gunslinger Spawn, issue 3 by McFarlane and Booth. Love Gunslinger Spawn. This is kind of the end of this first arc of Spawn with this kid. His dad was in bed with these angels and part of this evil thing. We get the reveal of who Gunslinger Spawn is, what his ethnicity is, what his name is. And just a lot of cool banter between the kid and Gunslinger Spawn, teasing him on how he can't read, and Gunslinger Spawn digging up ammunition all over where he left it in the past. So cool stuff, man. I'm digging Gunslinger and King Spawn and regular Spawn right now. Then we have A Righteous Thirst for Vengeance. This is issue number 3 by Rick Remender and Andre Lima Araujo. I like this series, man. It's a very dialogue light book, very little dialogue. This guy stumbles upon the black internet and kind of mercenary for hire job opportunities and stumbles upon this job, and the guy that's on the job with him thinks he's some vet, but this guy's like a bumbling idiot and here to kill this woman on the cover. So obviously it doesn't end up the way that one mercenary thought it was going to end up. Pretty interesting to see where it's going, man. Our clumsy kind of guy is a would-be hero, it seems. And lastly, from Image, we have Radiant Black, issue 11. This was by Kyle Higgins, Marcelo Costa with Becca Carey. So I like this one. So the first guy who had the Radiant Black power, he's been in a coma, out of commission since what, issue 4 or so? And his best friend has picked up the mantle. So in the last issue, he saved him from his coma by speaking to the robot in the great abyss and bringing his friend back. And you have that awkward tension, like, do you want your powers back now? And that kind of stuff. So I don't know. I'm sticking with Radiant Black. We're on issue 11 already. The artwork is flashy. The storytelling is deep. Kyle Higgins can get serious and give you a good serious tone with this book. And it does have that like action-packed flair as well. So yeah, Radiant Black, it was decent. Moving on over to Boom Studios, you have House of Slaughter, issue 3 by James Tynion IV, Brombell, Deladria, Sheehan, and Muerto. So this is in the same universe as Something is Killing the Children, but it doesn't follow Erica Slaughter. It follows Jace and his roommate, which would become his lover, and end up becoming his assassin that's out to kill him in the future. That's an interesting kind of concept. I don't like it as much as Something is Killing the Children. I don't really have as much invested into these characters, but the scene in the opening here of them busting down a monster killing a girl's family, it's like, where's the Comics Code Authority when you need it? And at the end as well. So yeah, it was a crazy violent and heavily sexual. I don't say heavily. It was pretty sexual at the end. And then we have Eat the Rich, issue 5. This one's by Sarah Gailey and Puis Bach. So Eat the Rich, I'm pretty sure this is the last issue. Interesting, man. It ends on this interesting note. This is about a girl who's in love with this guy. He's super rich. She's an aspiring lawyer. She's in grad school. They meet his family, uber rich people, and she finds out they have a creepy tradition. They end up eating their help once they retire. And it's all contractual, and the help is on board. In return, their families are set for life. But the problem is, once you eat people, you have to continually do it. Otherwise, the hunger will overtake you. We don't really quite learn what that hunger will do. Maybe just drive you crazy or whatever. Maybe you're just really, really hungry. But our main character, as you can kind of see from the cover here, she's not really with it. And she kind of has a little fling with one of the maids here. And it ends in a climatic kind of ending. I liked it. It was fun. All right, guys, on to the DC books. We have Catwoman, Lonely City, issue 2, oversized DC Black Label by Cliff Chiang. I love this issue. I loved issue 1, was my pick of the week. I really wanted to give this pick of the week. I didn't. There's something in here that I thought deserved it a little bit more. I love this kind of futuristic world where Catwoman has been re-released, freed by Mayor Two-Face, Mayor Harvey Dent. He's running up for re-election against Barbara Gordon. That's interesting. The world knows he's Two-Face. Obviously, he's got two faces. They know that Barbara Gordon was Batgirl. It's kind of like a future state type of atmosphere. The Gotham City Police are like kind of an army, like a very tyrannical type of army. And she's got this squad, Ocean's 11 style, or Ocean's 8, or whatever you want to say, with Killer Croc, with the Riddler. Just the banter and the dialogue is great. The scenes of the way that Cliff Chiang draws Catwoman jumping around buildings, but she's older, it just works so well. It's fun and refreshing. Great story so far. Then we have another oversized book from DC Black Label, Batman One Dark Knight by Jacques. This was awesome, guys. This was a great story. Basically, we have to courier EMP, this Batman villain, from Arkham Asylum, and they have maps and everything, to Blackgate from across Gotham City. And the whole world either wants to free him or take him out or interrupt this transfer in one way, shape, or form. The art's amazing. The political aspects behind it, like Gordon saying to, I don't know what her title is. I think her name is Chavez. You should have left him in Arkham. No, you don't understand. Arkham is run down. We got the top notch state-of-the-art stuff in Blackgate. We got to transfer him. So One Dark Knight, obviously it doesn't go well. And EMP sets it off, and we have a total blackness, no electricity in Gotham. But Batman still got to get him to Blackgate. See, the thing is, the cell that's there to contain EMP can only work if he's in it. He powers it. So I think there's an even bigger problem if they don't get him into that cell or something along those lines. Great story. Could have been pick of the week as well. All right, then we have Legends of the Dark Knight issue 8. They're getting a little bit leaner. These used to be like trade paperback sizes, right? Or no, I'm thinking Urban Legends. By Grayson. You're basically bred to write Batman comics if your last name is Grayson. Travis, Ortega, Valcuva, Sanchez, and Placencia. I think it's like 2 or 3 stories, maybe 2 stories. The story was a little bit preachy, but I still kind of liked it. Batman just busting up this ghost squad, this crew that's robbing small-time thieves, but they have kind of one special leader who's a little bit quicker, smarter, more ferocious than the rest. Batman takes her down. She kind of preaches that, you know, Gotham doesn't care about her or her people. They're homeless. But it was a kind of a touching story at the end. Then we got Supergirl, The Woman of Tomorrow, issue 6 out of 8 by Tom King, Everly, and Lopez. Love this issue. Great series, man. This one is like 2 things are happening at once. She finally has caught up to the bad guy, Krem, the guy who killed her new friend's family and shot Crypto. He's got this magic orb. Last time he used it, it hit them, put them billions of, was it light years away? Far as hell. He's got another orb, so she's basically got to outrun the orb. It can't be outrun by any man, woman, or child, but who said anything about a flying horse? So she's outrunning this orb, and her friend, which has been narrating this whole story, is telling her, or telling us, the Supergirl recant of the end of Krypton, much more than we've ever known with Clark Kent, because remember, Clark Kent got sent away when the planet exploded. A chunk of the planet with a domed city still survived, and Kara lived there until she was a teenager, until she was rocketed off towards Earth. Super touching, super emotional, and just delving out the mythos of Krypton. I loved it. Then we have Robins, issue 2 of 6. This is by Tim Seeley, Rivas, and Ferraro Jr. I don't know. I kind of liked it. There's like this new Robin, this female character who supposedly was the first Robin, and the other Robins are teaming up to catch her. She stole these files from the Bat computer, so she's kind of going over Batman's first initial assessment of each Robin and whether they passed or failed the test. That was pretty cool. The banter between the Robins and Batman going to the Watchtower, just stay right here, don't do anything, and Dick Grayson being the leader, kind of like, all right, guys, now that he's gone, let's take Stephanie's car that's not being traced, and boom, let's go solve this, mission or whatever. It was okay. Then we have Batman Catwoman, issue number 9, also by Tom King, with Liam Sharp. I'm a huge Liam Sharp fan, and also on DC Black Label. I've loved this miniseries so far, but I got a little bit lost here. It was just kind of some crazy banter between like Joker and Catwoman in the past and in the future. I'm a little lost. I don't really get what happened here. What did Joker do that was so bad that he's got like this family that's hostage? I couldn't tell if it had something to do with Catwoman's child. Was there some kind of, I guess I can't spoil it. We'll talk spoilers in the comments. And lastly, before I get into my pick of the week, it's Wednesday, so that means it's Whatnot Wednesday. I'm going live today at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern for Mutant Madness. I've got tons of raw X-Men key issues and run fillers, plus a bunch of omnibus from Organic Price Books, and I think I have some other goodies in my box as well. If you haven't yet, use the link in the description or in the comment to download Whatnot. It'll give you a $10 credit that you can use towards either my auction or anyone's auction, which will also give me a $10 referral as well. So help me help you. And with that being said, on to the pick of the week. Nightwing, y'all. Issue number 87 by Tom Taylor, Rendondo, and Lucas. Now, it's no secret I've been digging this run. And a lot of the reasons why I've liked this run is not only the coloring, but Redondo's storytelling with the art. As you can see with the cover, I love it when they do this kind of like, you see the movement. Spider-Man used to do it all the time back in the day. What's crazy about this issue is that the entire issue is one continuous image. I love it. It was so fun. The story was nothing. Their dog got kidnapped, so Dick and Barb are trying to rescue it. But just that flow, the movement, the storytelling with the art, it was unique and amazing, and I loved every minute of it. Great issue from Tom Taylor and crew, Nightwing 87. I appreciate you guys sticking around for the whole video. Let me know what your favorite comics were in the comments down below. Catch you later today on Whatnot, and stay minty fresh. Peace.